You're welcome to this morning's edition of Saturday Special. I am Oluwafunbi Bello.
All right, welcoming you. You know, every Saturday for us at BCOS, Broadcasting Corporation, for your state is always special. So we're welcoming you in a special way. And of course, you know how we run Saturday program. On Saturdays like this, we run you through the newspapers. We'll take you through some of the stories that made the headline in the dailies, and then we give you some of the reports from the governor's activities. We also take you through some communities in our travelogue, and then we'll come to the interview segment where we host special guests to discuss topical issues affecting individuals. And then we wrap it up with global update. That's what we have for you this morning. And of course, we'll take some of the stories in the newspapers.
Yeah, this morning. And I will be starting with the Saturday Tribune on the front page. An unfortunate incident happened in Oyo State yesterday, but unfortunately still, it wasn't just in Oyo State. It says gunmen storm schools, abduct many students in Borno, Oyo. That story is on page 3. And just at the right corner of that story, we have a picture of Oyo State Commissioner of Police Olubenga Adeji Bimbola leading operatives to the scene of the attack by gunmen for an on-the-spot assessment. No regrets over subsidy removal, single foreign exchange market. And that's coming from the president. Insists reforms painful but necessary. That story is on page 4. 2026 Hajj, Nigeria records 4 deaths. And that story is on page 5. 3-horse race will defeat Tinubu. ADC boasts, says it will still work with Obi for console. And that story is on page 8 and on page 25. And on page 5, don't stake your children's school fees on nomination forms. Uzodima warns politicians. I mean,
Because it's their choice. They can choose to take their breakfast, lunch, and dinner and money to buy forms. I mean, the implication is there. It's just that we all pay for it at the end of the day. They are not using that.
But I'm sure it's not Nigerian schools. I mean, they are talking about.
Well, if they can't, if they spent it, they come back to Nigeria and make their children go to school here. What they did.
It's really funny.
But unfortunately, those collecting.
I mean, you shouldn't even be warning grown up men or women to.
The person who said that must have seen one or two things. Maybe also speaking from experience. Maybe he had spent his own children's money on nomination forms. Only God knows.
All right, moving on to page 7. Atiku demands El-Rufai's release before Eid el-Kabir. Tambuwal's former deputy, Daniyar, emerges ADC governorship flag bearer in Sokoto. And on pages 12 and 21, I have nowhere to go. He married me at 14 years old. Now he wants a divorce 30 years after. That's 44 years. It is well.
That's a serious one.
Taking
How
some
would you marry someone
at 14, a minor. A minor.
All of these cultures, they need to be checked, really. You marry somebody at 14 and then you want to try at 44. Taking all the goodies that comes with a woman and
the youthful years.
So who's going to take the remaining?
Well, I wouldn't really say remaining or leftover.
No, that's
you can find love again at any
love.
Yes.
Did she actually find love in
she
the first
She didn't have. Of course, she was deprived, of the opportunity. But anything can happen.
At
she
44.
can find love again. People find love.
Who's going to marry her
60,
at 44?
70. A lot of people will.
With how many kids?
It depends. It doesn't really matter.
It goes a long way.
It does. And I think also the psychological, the trauma it's going to leave her with
apart
alone.
from the trauma, so that trauma also, the person you said she would find love with is going to pay for all that she has gone through in life. It's going to pay for it.
It's just unfortunate.
It's usually not as easy as
we hope
we think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes with a lot of pains, sacrifice. You're not even sure of what you're going to meet in the next relationship or marriage. Men can play her.
Fear of moving on.
No, some men can play her. She can fall into the hands of 3, 4, 5 men and still not get.
All right, moving on to some of the inside stories, starting with page 3. Gunmen storm schools, abduct many students in Borno. The rider says kill assistant headmaster, Okada rider, kidnap vice principal in Ogbomoso community. That story came as a rude shock yesterday. We just hope the abducted students and teachers will be released soon. ADC will guarantee independent INEC, and that's coming from Lukman. Police dismiss officer over alleged drug abuse misconduct in Ekiti. And that's all on that page. 2027, court rebukes plaintiff, lawyer in suit to stop Jonathan, awards 1 million naira fine. APC primaries, police arrest suspected political thugs, recover firearms in Ekiti. Reps Deputy Speaker Kalu secure support for third term bid. Entrepreneur calls on Nigerians abroad to invest in nation's growth. And on page 9, the Ask Your Doctor page. We have a lot of questions here. Salt water and my health. My son's headaches, asthma and my health. Is this dementia? All on page 9 with answers to those questions. Crime feature, how fake army major used AI photo to pose as military officer. Defrauded lover of 1.5 million naira. Still on the same page, retired PAMSEX murder case. Judge orders bank officials' appearance in court to justify. And that's all on that page. Someone who is homeless and cannot afford to eat may not pay 100 or 200 naira to use a toilet when they can do it by the roadside. And that's talking of open defecation. The rider says open defecation persists in Lagos despite government's appeal. We are encouraging banks, eateries, others to make their restrooms accessible to public. And that's coming from the government. We are accessing...
Who will do the cleaning? At what cost?
Organizations will do the cleaning.
I know one eatery in Ibadan here,
especially
in Iwo Road. You know, once you sit down for 2 minutes, in fact, 2 minutes is too much. They just come to you and ask you, what do you want? You can't sit here. They will even tell you, you can't sit here and wait for someone. So you let alone use their restroom. Trust me, it's not going to happen.
I mean, sometimes you find yourself in a very serious situation. You just have to find a restroom.
The government should make public toilets available.
And that's what they're saying.
I remember one day I was pressed, seriously pressed. I didn't drive that day. I got to Iwo Road. I had to look for a public toilet. So, I mean, government should make...
And did you find one?
Yes, I did. I found one behind the filling station. I paid and I used it. It was just to pee and I stepped out. I mean, God forbid if it was more than just pee. I mean...
All right, moving on to page 19. Federal government signs 8 major road projects, target economic growth, national connectivity. And on exquisite lifestyle, talking of entertainment, elevate your looks with headbands, hair accessories. Ogun records another gas leak in public schools. Over 100 students affected. Southwest pensioners decry delay in pensions. Reject Retirees Association registration. Atiku demands El Rufai's release before Eid el-Kabir. And on Vox Pop, that's on page 27, Nigerians react. Speak on Goodluck Jonathan's rumored 2027 presidential ambition. And we have a lot of reactions on this particular page. So many people airing their thoughts on that particular conversation. Moving on to page 29, court adjourns retirees' suit against NSCDC, others to May 22 for hearing. And on the back page, where we have some of the sports stories on page 30, Abelua insulted me, says Mbappe. On the 20 World Cup, Falconet draw Spain, China. Agu could return against Borussia Dortmund. Corona Riverbank Shine at Commodore Interschool Swimming. Wobby fit to return against Wolves, and that's coming from Silver. Amuson boosted my career, and that's from Tabubo. 3SE to face Kebbi United in Federation Cup. Onazi backs Iheanacho to extend Celtic stay. CAA 2026, Team Nigeria wins women's 4 times 100 gold, and that's all. And on the back page where we have the last story, it says, I prefer to play for Italy, Brentford's Coyote. And that's all on Saturday Tribune this morning. Over to you, Jadesola.
Thank you very much, Fumbi. All right, the major story on the front page of the Nation newspaper of this morning. Primaries, APC reps, bigwigs battle to retain seats with 4 riders. Aspirant ensures over non-release of election guidelines. Tension in Edo, Ondo, Ekiti. Others as shadow poll kicks off. APC class 21 disqualifies 4 Fubara loyalists in Rivers. Controversy over Kaduna aspirant Buba's age. Wow, that story's on page 4 and 5. When I saw that picture, I was dazed. Like, seriously? Okay, on page 5, INEC to subject parties' membership register to verification. Says 22 parties met the deadline for submission. I'll do more in second term. Tinubu vows OECD backs president's reform agenda with fresh investment data. The story's on page 6. Right on page 2, 2 die as gunmen abduct principal, staff, student in Ogbomoso. On page 3, many abducted as Boko Haram invades Brono Primary School. All right, the FCC arraigns influencer, blessing CEO over alleged 36 million fraud. And then you have Oni, Queen Miriam, welcome twins, princes. The stories are on page 3. All right, let's go to some inside stories there. You have police nab human trafficking kingpin. 3 fair killed as youth security operatives clash in Anambra. Female armed Korea Alima Umar backs 20-year jail term. Many fair abducted as Boko Haram invades primary school in Bruno. All right, you could see the picture of that Buba. I don't know what his age looks like. I don't know what he wants to do, but trust me, picking up nomination form is questioning. All right, let's go to page 5. You have other stories on page 5, still on the APC primaries. And then you come to page 6. President returns to Lagos after France, Kenya, Rwanda trip. Shows Nigeria in Rwanda of better future. APC, APM, and the battle for Agodi House. As Obasanjo returns to favorite pastimes on Tinubu Osun 2026, a festival of flyer cap or issues. South Africa, we are all victims. All right, politician as epitome of absurdity. The green industry shift. Countries compete for leadership in new climate economy. Task has no friend, but how do you achieve growth without it? That's coming from Tinubu on the Weekend Live page, page 11. How Russell cattle amassed suspected bandit in Guara Market. On page 12, police school teachers bed reading die waiting for 9 billion naira arrears. Officers demand 60,000 from widow to process payment. Improvised teachers allege harassment, intimidation by authorities. How would you demand 60,000 naira from someone who lost a husband in serving the country, who is maybe not even doing anything, staying back to take care of the children, and you're demanding 60,000 to get their payment? It's quite unfortunate, quite unfortunate. And I don't know, something just has to be done. We can't continue like this. All right, I have other stories there quickly. Ex-military governor declared me wanted with 1 eye, 1 leg. That's coming from Tola Adini. And of course, I'll take some sports, 1 or 2 sports stories as we call it a wrap this morning on the Saturday Nation. Who will be cleared to star against Wolves? Oseme, my time in Galatasaray has been priceless. Coyote snubs Nigeria for Italy. And that's as much as we'll be able to take this morning from the Saturday, the Nation newspaper. We'll go on the break
Governor's
from
activities,
the,
yes. We have governor's activities. Of course, you know, we run you through governor's activities through the week. And yes, it's ready for you. Stay with us.
This week's activities of Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, commenced on Wednesday, May 13, as he graced the Oyo State 2026 International Tourism Summit. The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, hosted traditional custodians, tourists, and key stakeholders in the tourism sector at a renowned event hall in Ibadan during the 2026 Oyo International Tourism Summit. In his address, Governor Makinde noted that private sector investment can only thrive in an environment where policies and projects are protected beyond tenure of a single administration. According to him, many development initiatives in Nigeria fail because successive governments often abandon or dismantle projects started by their predecessors.
Tebani continuity, which is what we are pushing for Oyo State. Then future administrations will not need to begin again. They will be able to build on what exists because the foundation has been properly laid. And this is what we mean when we say from groundwork to governance. We have moved beyond identifying opportunities. We're now building systems that will sustain them.
The governor maintained that the state is not merely initiating projects, but institutionalizing framework that align agencies, guide decision-making, and ensure continuity. In his remarks, a former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, who lauded various developmental strides of Governor Seyi Makinde, also commended the Oyo State government's 25-year tourism master plan. He charged the state to strengthen concession arrangements and institutional framework that will protect tourism investments from political changes.
Domestic tourism and international tourism cannot thrive if the sovereign, we are subnationals, the sovereign must also play its part. If there is no synergy between the sovereign and the subnationals, the effective partnership that we require for strengthening tourism is also going to be jeopardized. And we need to encourage the sovereign to play its part in order for the subnationals to unleash the opportunities that are inherent in the various states.
Also speaking, the State Commissioner for Tourism and Culture, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, and Director General of Oyo State Investment and Public-Private Partnership Agency, Tilewa Folami, said that tourism foundation being laid in the state is designed to ensure consistency, coordination, disciplined execution, and long-term growth. They maintain that Oyo State has established institutional coordination, identified and prioritized by key tourism assets, with structuring development framework and demonstrated early execution through strategic consensus.
Historically, tourism has often been approached as activity. Festivals and events are held from time to time. Occasional upgrade of sites by the private sector and isolated interventions by governments. But after tourism was identified and adopted as one of the core areas to drive socio-economic development in the state, we knew we had to do things differently.
The Director General of Oyo State Mobilization Agency for Socio-Economic Development, Dr. Moronkola Thomas, also explained that when governance is in place, investors gain confidence, government gains alignment, while projects gain continuity. In his remarks, a renowned filmmaker, Kunle Afolayan, commended the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, for creating an enabling environment for tourism in the state, which he admitted that his film village has benefited immensely. Earlier in our opening address, the Secretary Organizing Committee, Abigail Anaba, who noted that government alone cannot build a tourism economy, said its responsibility is to create clarity of direction, structure, and opportunity. Later the same day, Governor Makinde attended a dinner organized in commemoration of the Oyo State 2026 International Tourism Summit.
The dinner, which honored prominent Nigerians who have greatly contributed to the tourism sector in the state, was a spectacular celebration. Awards were presented to the various individuals in recognition of their contributions to the entertainment, hospitality, and culture sectors. The Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, expressed gratitude to the state government and the various stakeholders for their contributions to the promotion of culture and enhancement of the tourism in the state. On behalf of the state government, he later handed over a 1 million naira check to a cultural group.
1 million naira presented by ITS Oyo State 2026 Organizing Committee to Akinyoye Olayinka Ibirunke winner theme song competition.
In his address, Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde highlighted the state's notable achievements in the tourism and hospitality sector. The governor, represented by his deputy, Barrister Bayo Lawal, stated that the government has established a favorable environment for the hospitality industry and is working to attract tourists to the state.
This year's theme is International Tourism Summit Oyo State 2026. It is international because we have drawn experts across the globe to advise, to demonstrate, and to implement. As you know very well, Oyo State is imbued with limitless natural resources. It is when we have addition of value that they become something that will yield revenue to Oyo State. And I urge you, all of those in the industry, to try and impact, put more value on these raw natural resources that we have all over Oyo State. And take the liberty of this occasion to really appreciate the organizers, particularly the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism.
The event attracted traditional rulers, cultural ambassadors, and tourists from every part of the country.
On Thursday, May 14, Governor Seyi Makinde led a mega rally where he officially declared his intention to contest for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Hi, Oluseyi Makinde, FNSC, announce my candidacy for the position of the President
The ancient Mako Hall in Ibadan became a major political hub as members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the Allied People's Movement, APM, and other supporters trooped out in large numbers to witness the alliance between two parties ahead of the 2027 general election. Major roads leading to the venue were heavily congested as party faithful, adorned in branded souvenirs and carrying party logos, made their way to the frontage of Mako Hall for the rally. In his address, the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, said the alliance between the PDP and APM is a step towards building a stronger coalition capable of presenting an alternative leadership for the country. Describing the moment as historic, the governor declared that the alliance will field candidates at all levels, from presidency to state assemblies.
Today, history is being made. I pronounce today the birth of We Save Nigeria movement. This handshake will allow us field candidates at all levels. We will field candidates from top to bottom.
Governor Makinde, who lamented the current economic and security challenges facing Nigerians, added that the coalition, which he described as a movement to rescue Nigeria, was formed to provide the leadership and direction needed to reposition the nation.
We have witnessed the continuous meddling in the affairs of opposition parties in our dear country, with the aim of taking Nigeria to a one-party system. Without a multi-party system, there is no democracy. So where is our multi-party? The economic and security situations have continued to deteriorate, putting the majority of Nigerians on survival mode.
In their various remarks, the national chairman of the Allied People's Movement, APM, Dr. Yusuf Dantale, a member of Board of Trustee, PDP BOT, Honorable Ali Odefa, and the National Secretary of the APM, Honorable Oyadiyi Ayodele, who lauded the developmental strides of Governor Makinde, said the alliance between APM and PDP is aimed at restoring the pride of Nigerians and rescuing democracy in the country. They lamented the current state of the nation, noting that Nigeria's image and influence in Africa had declined over years. Also speaking, a former governor of Osun State, Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola, said the failure of the ruling party at the national level to fulfill its promises to Nigerians informed the alliance by the parties to deliver the needed change in the country. The Oyo State chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Honorable Dayo Ogungbero, also expressed optimism that the newly formed alliance will produce the next president of Nigeria, which also boosted the chances of other candidates contesting under the coalition to secure electoral victories. Earlier, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party and the Allied People's Movement signed and presented a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, at the PDP Southwest Secretariat, Shoji Adagodo House, Old Ife Road, Ibadan. And that wraps up the activities of Governor Seyi Makinde for this week. Special thanks to the entire production crew. I'm Olalekan Sulaiman, reporting for Saturday's Special.
The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains no fit do us shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Welcome back. It's still Saturday Special on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Of course, in this segment, we have It's an interview segment, and we will be discussing what we call economic hardship, handling marriages, financial pressure. That's what we're looking at this morning. And to do justice to the conversation, we have two guests who are experts when it comes to such issues, marital issues. We have Mr. Enyayo Akintujoye, who is an esquire, is a legal expert. You're welcome again this morning.
Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here last week, and it's good to come for the concluding part of the discussion.
Thank you.
He's a family lawyer and marriage counselor. All right, we have this morning again another counseling psychologist. She is Dr. Olubanke Olaojo. Olaojo. Oh, okay. I beg your pardon. Olaojo. You're welcome this morning, and it's good to have you on the program. Thank you very much. All right, so discussing economic hardship is a primary driver of marital stress, fueling arguments, emotional distance, and feeling of inadequacy. When basic needs like food, housing, and healthcare become harder to meet, the resulting pressure often causes couples to withdraw or attack each other instead of acting as a united front. So we're going to be looking at ways to navigate the difficulties this morning on the program. And to begin with, permit me to be gender biased this morning because we're 3 female in the house. Just one.
As
Don't
usual.
worry, we're 4, we're not against. Okay. So let me begin from Dr. Olaojo. Dr. Olaojo, you're welcome once again. We're talking about marriage, economic hardship, financial pressure. Trust me, women receive more when it comes to this. What's your take about, financial hardship affecting women, affecting the home generally? What's your take about it?
Thank you very much. Addressing financial hardship in time like this, the kind of husband a woman get married to determines how the pressure is going to be on the person. Maybe it's going to be mild, severe, or something like that. If you marry a narcissist or a parasite, at this pressure moment, managing financial crisis may result to, marital violence. A narcissist will always want his money to be his money, will not take up responsibilities. A narcissist, as a husband, will always extort the wife, even the children. And a parasite, the same characteristics. So, if the burden is now on the woman at a time will now flare up when she can no longer continue. And managing it also depends on the personality type of the woman. If the woman is an introvert, she keep managing the situation, she keep coping, crying and suffering in silence. But if the woman is an extrovert, she cried out, she scattered things. She wants to express her feelings at all costs, even if the husband is not even feeling or sensitive to the feelings. She wants to make everybody see that I'm dying. She will cry out. So in this kind of situation, all we need to do as individual is to have streams of income.
Before we go to what we need to do,
all right.
Let's quickly go to Barrister Akintujoye. Barrister, I've heard that there are men who are narcissists or narcissists. And yes, I've seen parasite, but it's ringing more bell this morning. Is it that it's only men that are narcissists? Do we have women who are narcissists? And then, just like what she has said, I'd like you to also buttress what she has said when it comes to families facing, marriages facing hardship. Are women truly at the receiving end? Does it come back to the men too?
Receiving end of the economic hardship?
Yeah.
Well, I feel that Okay, if we look at it from that angle, maybe because most of the time women, they are more attached to their children and to the family. You hardly see a situation whereby a woman elopes from the responsibility of the family and abandons the children. You know, it's very rare compared to the number of occasions you find men abandoning their children and their responsibility with the wife and running away. And so, yes, to that extent, we would say that economic hardship, and when people do not know how to manage it, and or when you have husbands who are supposed to be leaders in the family that do not have a sense of responsibility, you often find women being at the receiving end, because women cannot elope. They don't elope, you know. Traditionally, customarily, they don't elope as much as you find men eloping from the responsibility in the home. Yes, absolutely.
So, let's go. Are there female narcissists, parasites? Yeah, there might be parasites, maybe common with women.
Well, you see, I think that if we are looking at it from the cultural context, you would hardly, that description would hardly fit a woman, because from the cultural context, a woman is not expected to be the provider of the family. So people will say, well, how can you call a woman a parasite if she's spending her husband's money or whatever, you know? How will you call her a parasite? How will you call her a narcissist? Is somebody who is, according to a definition, who is very manipulative, who does not put her resources on the ground and all of that. Yes, certainly there are so many people like that, so many women like that also, who allow their husband to bear the burden alone, and would not even lend a helping hand, will keep their money away and will not declare what they have, and will not, because that is the philosophy they have, that, well, it is the responsibility of the home is 100% that of the man, and that they can only come in if they wish. It's not a duty. And so they keep their money away, they keep their resources away, they don't declare what they have, and continue to even taunt the man, you know, when his income is not able to handle the responsibilities of the home. So certainly there are a lot of women who will also fit that description.
All right, I want to come to Dr. Olaojo. Of course, I know you have something to say also, but maybe you can just add it up to what you want to say.
There are some women who, by virtue of experience, have seen their mothers carrying responsibilities solely, and have vowed never to do that for a man. My money belongs to me. My money is my money. I can never share my money with any man. After all, he came to marry me. After all, the children are his. After all, they don't bear my name. You know, there are some myths hiding under that, which makes every woman to keep their money to themselves and continue to. And there's one fact I want to establish. No matter how rich a woman is, every woman wants to enjoy their husband's money. Spending from the purse of your husband gives you a very high self-esteem. When you see things that your husband is doing for you, maybe your husband is committed, it's the kind of feeling that you develop at like satisfaction, the love keep growing.
We've talked about parasite. Dr. Olaojo, but I want us to, talk about finances in the home now.
Thank you.
Let us look at practical examples. Based on your experiences, I know you've dealt with couples who are currently having these issues. Who should bear the burden more in the home? Now, asking this question, hypothetically, where we have maybe a woman doing much more than the husband. Culturally, we know that the man is the head of the home.
Yeah.
The man should carry more of the responsibilities. But in a situation where the woman earns more. She's doing better than the husband. Who should carry that responsibility in the home?
Thank you very much. You know, men are wired to be responsible. And men are kind of egoistic being. They are possessive of their own ego, their own integrity. Men wants to be seen as the sole breadwinner. Men wants to be respected by, attending to their responsibilities. So if any woman wants to assist a man in this kind of situation, you should do it stylishly. Oh, my husband, I'm thinking in this direction. The school our children attend, I think, is below our standard. Maybe you can just bring certain percentage, I bring certain percentage so that we can go for the better school, stylishly. Or my husband, there's a loan I'm trying to get. I don't know, is there any project at that? So we can just pull it. That is men with ego. You respect their ego.
Does it work at all times?
It doesn't work at all times. It works for some people. But that's why I mentioned personality, type. If it were to be those narcissists, they will not say, okay, whenever you are feeding me, you have an opportunity to ride on me. You now lay down your rules. You now tell me the way to spend your money because I'm riding your car now, so you want to ride me. Is that that kind of a thing? There are some men you cannot help them, you cannot support them. Despite the fact that the Bible or the religious aspect said women should submit to their own husband. You cannot just submit to some men. And up to this generation, up to this century, some men still believe that whatever a woman earns should be submitted to them. That submission, they still mean financial submission. How can I work and you, baboon, will be eating my money? Monkey, they work, baboon, they chop. Because there are a lot of cases on my table as a counseling psychologist where some women are having issues with their husbands simply because they cannot submit their salary, they cannot submit their income. How will I submit my income? I can only submit certain percentage of my income. Maybe we have family savings for a purpose. That is when I can say, this is, my money is supposed to be my money. Out of my own volition, I should be able to release some certain percentage. When I see that my husband is struggling, then it comes from my own volition. I say, okay, my husband, I'm supporting you with this in this kind of project you are handling in this period of time. Let me just support you with this. It's not mandatory.
I think we should also take that question to the man in the house now. In a situation where you have in a home, the woman earns more than their husband. How do you think finances should be managed in such home?
Well, you see, marriage is supposed to be a partnership. Based on the original design of the manufacturer of marriage, it says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. And they are no more two, but one. That's the operating principle. Marriage is what brings two individuals to become one. So if they are truly one, then everything about them has become one, including their finances. That is the way it will work well. Everything is supposed to be one. So the question of who is supposed to handle more, no. It doesn't arise in an ideal situation. If you, as my wife, you are earning 150,000 in a month, and I, as the husband, am earning 100,000 in a month, it just means that our marriage, our family, earns 250,000 in a month. And we sit down together as partners and decide on all the responsibilities we have and how to appropriate the 250,000 to handle those responsibilities.
Realistically, do you think that applies today in today's Nigeria?
It's not practical.
With what we are seeing, do you think it's really practical?
Very, very practical. What's difficult about it? There is nothing difficult about it. You see, because whether you say Nigeria or today's Ghana or today's whatever, whether we call it today or yesterday, the principles that the person who instituted marriage, who is God, that he laid down to run it well, to have peace, for it to work well. If you don't apply it, you won't get the result. That's just it. So whether we say today's Nigeria is because I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why people are so, when it comes to money issues, we are overly sensitive, we are overly possessive. Now, and I don't understand why that should be, because in an ideal situation, in a marriage, our lives are joined, our projects are joined. Most marriages, the children are the number one project. The children are shared. Even though she mentioned that the children belong to the man, in reality, does the children belong to the man alone under the Child Rights Act? The children belong to the two of them. The children are they are the future of the two of them. Our lives are shared. Our projects are shared. Our future is shared. Our destiny is shared. So why should there be a problem in both of us pulling resources together to build our life together, to build our children together, to build our future together? There's nothing difficult about it at all. And I know so many homes that run this. I am one living example. Good. In my family, there's nothing like, this is the man's responsibility, this is the woman's responsibility. There's nothing like that. Every money, our understanding, which should be the proper understanding, is that every money that flows through me belongs to us. Every money that flows through my wife belongs to us. Because I don't have a separate home I'm building. I don't have another family, second family I'm running. I don't have children that I've given back to somewhere that is not shared. You understand? Everything about me is shared with my wife. We are going to the same future. Our destiny is the same. So what's the problem? So from day one, that's the way we run our family, and there is no problem. Every money that comes, we pull it on the ground. Everybody declares what comes in. We put it on the ground.
And everybody picks what is theirs. I said, and everyone picks what's allocated to them.
No, it's not about we all agree on what is allocated to what. You understand? What takes care of our personal needs, what takes care of the children, what we are using to pay rent, what we are using to pay debts, what we are using to maintain this. Everything is discussed, agreed, and appropriated and executed.
As easy and simple as he is saying it, it is easy to operate in that level. But there are experiences, there are cases on the table that women tend to be very, very honest, open-mindedness, faithful in their marriages. But what do they get in return? This gives them opportunity to do, to change it, change the rules in the middle of the game. We are in it together. We've been running it faithfully. All of a sudden, the other partner started having extramarital affair. My papa, I'll call you back. I'll call you back. Started passwording the phone. Started doing things, being secretive unnecessarily. Started calling for suspicion. What are we talking about? You will have 500,000 naira in your account. I will say, we need this, I have contributed this. Say, Ojori Reto, God sees my heart. I just have 50,000 naira. You know, that kind of a thing. And you discover later that the man is 500,000 naira rich. What is the man teaching the woman? He's teaching the woman to wise up and stop being faithful. So in any marriage where you see the principle working, that means both of them are faithful. But in any marriage that is one-sided, maybe a side is being faithful and loyal, and the other is not. Where you see people, spouse, keeping joint accounts, you see them, enjoying their lives. But the moment one is a thief and a liar, it's not working. It's not giving results. Because one is keep fattening with the money, and the other one is starving. Where I need there to buy earring or jewelry, I will have to write proposal, defend it, and you are there, lordship over the money, over my sweat.
Doctor,
it's giving us another vibe.
Dr. Laujo, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
No, I'm speaking from experience. There are cases on the table.
Yes, I agree. But let me come to Barrister.
Yes.
You see, one of the reasons why I kept looking, and are there faithful men?
Are there?
Faithful men.
Are there faithful men? Oh, yes, certainly.
What's the percentage of men that...
Well, I've not done the research.
I think we don't.
to know what is the percentage.
Why did I ask that question?
Yes.
Some of the things she's saying are things that are happening out there.
Yes.
Many young women were brought up
trained, groomed with the mindset of being open when they get to marriage. Unfortunately, they get there and meet a gamer.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
So
that.
your percentage,
yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just 1 out of 1,000.
How did you know that? Why did you do the data?
Now,
I understand what you're saying.
Let's quickly look at it. Why is it that it is money that is always bringing up issues in marriage? Money. I remember when I got married early, when I first got married, and we're in church seminars, marriage seminars, and once they talk about joint account like this, the whole church will scatter. And people, and I got married with the mindset, oh, why not? Why can't I have a joint account with my husband?
Very simple.
And when they say it, I said, no, you can have a joint account, but along the path, I realized that it was a wrong decision to even want to have, because my husband will tell you, of blessed memory, no, we can't have joint accounts. So why is it that it's money
that is causing problems?
That is causing. What is wrong with
major?
Let me see. The issue about money is that, number one, money is scarce. We learned that in basic economics. That
and the resources in satisfying it is also scarce.
Money is limited compared to wants. Money by nature is scarce. And so because it is scarce, often you don't have enough money.
It's scarce even when you have it.
Because
there are people, because the money issue we're raising.
Yes.
There are some couples who have that money.
Yes.
And that money is still creating problems.
I understand.
Spending the money is even a very big problem.
I'm just identifying the possible reasons, why money causes problem.
Okay.
Number one, for some, it is a question of the fact that it is scarce.
Okay.
Compared to the bills they need to pay. And because of that, that already brings you under emotional pressure. Because you need 10,000 naira, you have 2,000 naira. And so you are having to do what we call a scale of preference in economics. You understand? And that already has put you under pressure. Money is scarce. Two, it's hard to get. You put a lot of sweat and blood in getting money. And because of that, you are emotionally attached to whatever money you have gotten. You're emotionally attached to it. So that's why it easily triggers, triggers reaction. Because it is so difficult to get. And because of the emotional attachment that you have, to it. For some, it is the question of I've mentioned the question of over-possessiveness, I've mentioned the question of some people, it is actually their ideology, their philosophy, that they were raised with, that is affecting their ability to freely, open up and partner together with their spouse in managing their finances. And some people also do not have a sense of fairness and justice. Because these are important things that come to play when you want to have oneness of finance with your partner. You must ensure that for example, I give a very good example. This principle, what I said my wife and I practice, number one, I do not allow a situation whereby I have a lot of money in my account and there's no money in the account. So if, for example, 1 million comes into my account, I could just push like 300,000 to us. So
Why
that,
not 500? Why not 500?
Well, the reason is because even when that 300,000, the reason why I don't push 500 is because in the way we run our home, I take the lead in spending, in doing things. I lead the way.
Being a man.
In doing things, yeah. But the principle is that if that 300,000 is exhausted, the one that is left in my account is still jointly owned. And whatever is in my account is jointly owned. Whatever is in that. Oh, yes, 100%.
And your PIN.
She has it. Okay. That's it, because if we are financial openness, financial, she has it. She has it. That's why when we come here, we are trying to tell people what works. I believe so.
What is working?
What works? We want them to come out of financial prayer. That's why we are sweating on this program. And we are telling them what works. So that it's not that we have not just come to analyze what is causing problem. We are trying to create, tell people the way out. How can you have so I'm talking about the sense of fairness and justice. Let me quickly finish that point. This is very important. Sense of fairness. Sense of fairness and justice is what makes you to ensure that you are not just pushing resources to your family alone. That you understand. So, for example, as a family, as a couple, we send allowance to our parents every month. You know, and I don't send. And in our agreement, I'm the one that handles the sending. So, so when I'm sending my wife receipts to update her that I will send that receipt of the allowance I've sent to my parents, the one I've sent to our parents. So if you are sending to one side and you are not sending to one side, you are not fair. And because there is no fairness, that system will break down. So do you understand what I'm saying? So there are principles that people need to learn on how to make it work. A lot of people just say cannot work, cannot. It's not true.
I was actually coming to
the principles to make it work.
We need to pay some bills. Let's quickly pay some bills. We need to go on this commercial break. When we come back, of course, we're going to look at other issues that money determines in the home. Stay with us, don't go away.
Under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here. Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains no fit do us shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange this house to give us small wisdom. Shots might be fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Before I go talk, say our smell no reach. Make not think I'm try so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
Very much for staying with us. We're still talking about money in the home and how it's been affecting the home. Barrister, before we went on that break, you know, you've given us a practical example of how you run your home when it comes to money. Yeah. But Dr. Olao just seems to, you know, have a different view about that. You know, she says, your kind is rare. Doctor?
Yes, your type is rare. And it's because you are faithful, you are loyal, you are open-minded, you are not doing anything in the secret, it makes it work for you. Your type is rare. Just note that. There are a lot of cases. There are women who chose to support their husband 100%, and their husband keep feeling inferior. Instead of commending them, it is condemnation they get in return. Shebi, you know how to do it all. Continue. When you get tired, then we will see. You know, that kind of a thing, trying to, you know, cover up for your husband because you are more than your husband, and your husband is sick. Seeing you doing that, supporting, you know, him. Some men, when a woman built a house, they say, never will I live in a house built by my wife. I say, wow. Keep losing. Are you not aware she bought a land? You are aware. Are you not aware she's building a house? I'm aware. But she will be riding me, rider. No, that is one part of it. In a situation whereby the wife, the whole responsibility has been pushed to the wife, and the husband seemed to pretend not to be having, but the news outside, from outside, is another news entirely. When you get to the church, for example, on Sunday, say, I ever make it, daddy. Please send me where to daddy. He paid my child school fees. Thank you very much, daddy. But mommy, please greet daddy on my behalf. You know, and this is my husband or daddy they are referring to, that I'm struggling to get, you know, a piecemeal from. You know, what are they?
What do you think is responsible for that act? It's so rampant and common that what men cannot, some men, let me not say
cannot do at home
for their family, they can't sacrifice.
that is a great characteristic of a narcissist. They want public validation. They want people to say, Babarere, Babake. Hail, they want to be hailed outside there. But inside, they are something else. Bundle of irresponsibility. But when they get out there, they want to lavish their wealth. They want to be known. They want to be addressed as a rich man. That kind of a thing. But at home, they are different people.
But look at, what's playing out currently in the world today. In those days, men were never comfortable when a woman is taking responsibility. When a woman financially, takes care of the home. But today, we see a lot of men comfortable.
Yeah.
We see a lot of women taking huge responsibilities in the home, especially financial responsibilities. Why is this so? Where did it go wrong? At what point did men, miss that the headship?
Thank you. The society, culturally, men, women, girls are brought up, they are trained for their husbands to abuse or misuse. When you get to your husband, I'm only training you so that when you get to your husband's house, not that when you grow up and you are on your own, you can stand. We are grooming girls to be useful for those men for those boys that become men that are not groomed. When you say bride and groom, grooming continues with one's husband, a responsible husband. Not the other way around as we have it today. A bride is tender, is soft, in fact, is fragile. It is the groom that continues the training. But the other way around these days, it is the women that are now grooming their own husband. We have neglected our boys. They are not well trained.
Okay. While we're looking at the issue of boys, I want to quickly ask you now, the place of marriage, finances, affecting couples psychological and mentally. Why is it so? I mean, one would have thought that if you don't have money, you work towards having more, or you for long, okay, it will come. Let me just do more and all of that. Now, you see it affecting people psychologically. Why mentally?
Responsible men are mostly affected. When you've been spending, you've been taking responsibility in the past, and all of a sudden you couldn't do that again, you tend to be depressed, financially sick. In the past, let me give you this scenario. In the past, you earned 250,000 naira monthly. You save 50,000 naira. You will not still finish those 200,000 naira by virtue of what you are going to buy. But these days, the 250,000 naira could be spent on an item. Once you pay school fees, you even borrow more to pay school fees. What happens to other things? And that is where the pressure comes from. And most men, when they are when they are not rich enough to provide for their family, they become another thing. They become hungry, they are nagging, they are not happy. And when a man is not happy, the whole home is sick. You now be Googling, looking for the best mood to address your own husband. Simply because what he has been doing before that has been earning him respect, is no longer able to do it. And some women, they will not even consider their hardship in the country. They will say, is that what your mates do? They start comparing their husband with other men out there.
Okay, ma'am. Let's quickly go back to Barrister. Barrister, this economic hardship we're talking about, is it the one contributing to the increasing number of divorce and separation that we have today in the country or even across the globe?
Okay, well, over time, even before we have the current economic hardship, finance has always been a leading cause of marital problem, marital disintegration. A number of people say it's the number one. But even those who argue against number one, they don't argue that it is number two in terms of the factors that cause marital disintegration. Because of all the issues that we have mentioned. Money is very sensitive. It is always scarce. It takes sweat and blood to get it. And many people do not know how to partner together in marriage, because that's the biggest problem. It is not really just about lack of prosperity. It's about the lack of wisdom on how to partner together in your finances between yourself and your wife in such a way that finances never comes in between the two of you. Now, but the economic hardship would certainly have further compounded the problem, because, and I undo a lot of these issues also, where a family lawyer, the economic hardship has made things much more difficult, because like as she said, money is not enough. For most people, what is causing problem in their marriage is not financial prosperity, it's lack. If you look at the percentage, it's lack, you know, poverty. They are working so hard, but the economy, even what used to be enough, macroeconomic policies were made. For example, this current government have made a lot of decisions, a lot of policy decisions, without necessarily putting enough in place to cushion the effect on the poor. That's a fact that nobody can shy away from. And so monies became not enough. And to now make the matters worse, a lot of marriages do not have that solid foundation of oneness to be able to weather the storm, you know, because ordinarily speaking, even though there's scarcity and there's lack, if the two of you recognize that both of you are one, it's not one person's fault, you know. But think about a family that believes that the man is a provider. The moment there is no money in the house, the wives begin to react, believes that somebody has failed, and that person is the husband. So instead of the two of them to team up together, to come up with strategies to respond to the macroeconomic realities, they will be fighting each other. And that's where marital disintegration comes in. So there is the macroeconomic problem, which has caused a problem. But again, a lot of families do not have solid foundation to respond adequately to it. And one of the foundations is what I just said. An understanding that the two of you are partners, you are one. If there is no money in the home, and I'm not talking about a place where somebody has been reckless. Yes, we know that there are situations where one of the partners have been reckless financially. They are keeping side chicks and blowing, wasting resources. That's a separate issue. There are so many homes where that is not the case. You know, where you know that both of you are committed to the home. You know, nobody is wasting money, but it's just not enough as a result of macroeconomic realities that you don't have any contribution to. So if both of you understand that it's not my wife's fault, it's not my husband's fault, it's just a question of where we have found ourselves, and you team together, and you team up together, it won't affect your marriage.
So what you're saying is that the major cause of divorce and separation today,
yes,
is not money. Is that what you're saying?
It's not money simplicity. Money contributes to it. But I'm saying that if both of us
what is contributing, what is increasing the number of divorce and separation?
Now, you see, what you call separation is that money came in between me and my wife.
No, that's not the separation I'm talking about. I'm saying a situation where the husband moves out.
And that's what I'm saying now. What caused the divorce? You know, the two of us are joined together. If we do not allow that situation to come in between us, it won't separate us.
So are you saying in most cases, money comes between couples?
That's what happens.
Money causes, for a lot of divorce cases we are seeing today, the main root is money.
Of course, it's not the only cause. I just said it's a leading cause. Okay. There are so many things that can cause divorce. You know, so many issues that can cause divorce.
Now,
but I'm just saying it's a leading cause. It's a leading cause. It's not just now. It has always been a leading cause of marital tension and disintegration. But the point I'm making is that it will only lead to separation and divorce if we allow that money to come between what God has joined together.
Okay, let's quickly look at a situation where I recall when I was growing up, we see many families, they didn't have.
Yes.
In fact, when we were growing up, we see people in abject poverty.
Yes.
And they stick together.
Yes.
They didn't have.
Yes.
Their children, they do 010.
Oh, yes.
Or even do 101.
Yes.
I'm talking about meals. They eat maybe in the morning, And the food I'm talking about is just maybe pap.
Yeah.
And in the afternoon, they don't even have anything. In the night, they do gari or
yeah.
And yet, they stick together.
Because at that time...
They grew children.
Yes.
They managed to send their children to school. And, you know, the family started getting better.
Yes.
So how come money has suddenly become an issue? Because it was not like this before.
Sorry, you see, at that time, it was much more prominent, this adage that says, godliness with contentment is great gain.
That word has not left.
Yeah. So in a lot of situations, in many of the current realities today, we are not content. We are not content. What is contentment? Contentment is not the same as complacency. Complacency is you are not making moves. You are not taking steps to improve the reality of your family. Okay? But contentment is that you are happy with what you currently have. You understand? There is that popular cliche, which I think everybody else, all of us need to learn. That statement that was made, you know, by one Mr. Paul, that's his name. He says, I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I have learned to abound. I have learned to abase. We all need to learn both. Because money flow will not always be consistent at the same level all through life. So we must know how to abound. When the money is there, how to spend it. When it's not there, how to manage without it affecting our joy. And the harmony in our mind. It's a mindset issue. It's a mindset issue.
I would like her to answer the same question. You see, when we talk about hardship, the hardship we see affecting everybody today. Like I said earlier, was affecting some families who were living in poverty. And when I say poverty, they were not only living in abject. They were not only living in face me, I slap you. They were living there, and you could see that in the compound, they are the poorest of the poor. And you still see the husband and wife. They will go out, they will come in their room, they will live in one room, the children sleep on the floor, the husband says, they sleep on one, you know, I don't want to use names for the bed. And they manage in one room. And yet, they grew these children.
Both of them have the same mindset.
Those days, there were no challenges as we have today.
What kind of challenges?
Social media has posed a lot of challenges. You see people faking it. You fake it to make it. When you now see people faking it, this is my mate, doing well, borrowed everything, borrowed car, snap with it. I will just look at my husband as he is snoring and feel like stabbing him. What if he are Jamie? Look at my mates out there, not knowing that they are faking it. If I have not seen a base for comparison, how I will be contented with what I'm having.
So
but there are challenges around me. There are challenges around me.
So why can't I be myself?
I want to be like them. Who says, fingers are not equal, must my own be the shortest? I just want to feel among people who wants to live, you know, extravagant life. People who wants to copy their friends. We want to make it at all costs. You know, we don't want to wait for destiny. Some people don't even want to work at all because some people are not working. You just see them in the evening, they drive out, their skin is smooth. I've been working like Jaka. You want to look after, you want to go to teach me how you are doing it. And for that, I will have to shift.
Doctor, we've said so much about, you know, couples who do not have. Couples who have, and, you know, management has been the issue. But we've not really looked at couples who have had and do not have anymore. And that seems to be a huge problem. Because for couples who have in excess, and now you are trying to cut costs, you are trying to manage, it will be difficult for one party. It will be difficult for one of them.
Yes.
How do they navigate such situation?
Thank you very much. At this juncture, there is need to polish our sense of adjustment. There's something in psychology we call adjustment mechanism. The president has taught us a lot of adjustment. If you are the type that your husband will take his own car and you follow with your own car.
I know last week, Barrister said something about this.
Yes. You will learn to go in same car. If you are the type that have been flaunting wealth, there's no Saturday you will not attend party. This is the time whereby you decide, the party, are we going or not? Oh, you attend this while I attend the other one. Both of us cannot attend the party. You go and represent us. There are a lot of adjustments that we have to do. Now, you don't follow neighbor out before. This time around, you have to call your neighbor. Will you be going out tomorrow morning? What time will you be going out? I would like to follow you with your pleasure. Your neighbor too, when she's not having money for fuel. Yes, you drop your ego. Please, my children will be following you to the school. Thank you very much, ma. Those are the adjustments. You come down from cloud 9. You adjust. If you have been boasting before, enubado kai.
You live in reality.
Yes, you have to face reality. You have to be realistic to yourself. You don't tell people what you are not. Yes, let the situation decide for you, not you deciding for the situation. Cut your coat according to the size or yard of the clothes. If some people are sewing Iru and Buba with their materials, if it's only handkerchief, your whole material can sew because you are fat. You just sew handkerchief. If it is handband, that your material can sew, do so. If somebody is saying, I have clothes, I have ceremony, there's a shoebi, and you just say, okay, give me 2 yards. Say, what do you want to do with 2 yards? I have white at home now. I'll use the 2 yards to tie. I will identify with you. Forget what I want to do with the 2 yards instead of coming. There was a time my husband told me, not all Ashoebi will be buying this time around, no matter how close. I said, okay, sir. You know, that kind of a thing. And this my husband again will say, I said, okay, she best you buy the cap. Leave my own gele. I have the shade of the color. Those are the adjustments we are making.
But when we talk of adjustment, and this is coming to you, Barrister, now, you know, I know you've also made an example, you know, where you had to sell a car to buy a bike. You mentioned that last week, just to also live in reality. But sometimes it is difficult for some people to truly live in reality. And also, let's look at the psychological impact it has on some people. And I think this happens to a lot of women than it does to men. You know, women who have lived in surplus all their lives. Yes. Now, how do they live in that reality of the adjustment psychologically?
Okay, thank you very much. Even though, you know, they must face reality. You say it's difficult for them, but is debt easier?
I wonder.
Is it more honorable to be in debt and the creditors are chasing you all over the place? We must know that life is not a bed of roses. That is a mindset issue. Is a mindset issue. And that's why I made that statement the other time that we must learn it. It doesn't come naturally. We must learn how to abound and how to abase. We must recognize that that's the reality of life. Things will not always, you know, the supply of money will not always be at the same level all through life. Sometimes it's not even about you, it's about a macroeconomic decision, like the one we faced when subsidy was removed. It wasn't about you, it was a decision that was made by the government that affected everybody. Now, so it's about your mindset. And what is the mindset I want to give? Is that statement that was made by Jesus Christ made that statement. He said, beware of covetousness, for a man's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he possesses. We must come out of that mindset that it is what you have that determines your worth, that determines your value, that makes you important. We must have that detachment. The question is that whether you are living in, what's the name of this place in Samanda that is very expensive? Aerodrome. Or me that came from Elewuro. This morning. The truth of the matter is that in terms of the quality of our life, there's really no difference. You slept under a roof, I slept under a roof.
I wonder.
You understand? You know, you put on AC. If I put on fan, something blew both of us overnight. You know, now if I didn't tell you, does it show? If you slept in aerodrome this morning and woke up, does it really show in the quality of our output?
No, you can't tell me
life?
you didn't even come from aerodrome.
You won't even believe.
No, I don't even believe what I see.
So we must, you see, in reality, some of the prayer we put ourselves under is totally unnecessary. The expensive clothes you are wearing, many of the people are seeing it, can't distinguish between the one that is so expensive and the one that is not. They just see beautiful clothes and they appreciate. So we must know a man's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he possesses. And life is up and down. We sometimes need to come down to go up again, you know, so that we don't enter debt that will now tie us down. So it's a mindset. If our mindset is right, based on what we have said, it won't be difficult to adjust.
Let's quickly come to the issue of debt. We see a lot of families having to take loan, borrow monies to survive.
Oh, yes.
And truth be told, if they don't borrow that money, something else may happen.
Things will go
I use the word may.
Yes.
I'm not saying will happen. And we see some women, I'm sorry, I want to use the word women, does not care whether you borrow, whether you steal, they just want it done. How do we manage the home, the debt with a woman who would pressure you to bring money?
You mean they pressure their husband?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You see, my husband does not want, I want to use myself as an example. My husband does not want debt in any case. We must be able to manage our little resources. You don't go out to borrow debt. And if you are borrowing, it should be something tangible that you are borrowing for. Maybe school fees, maybe house rent. Not that you are borrowing to identify with uniform, so to say. Not that you are borrowing to look or dress extravagantly to be noticed in the society. So we must underline that. There are some women that are narcissistic in nature that will not want to see things from realistic point of view and will want to pressurize their husband to do extremely what is not convenient for them, to go out of their way just to satisfy them. I will not advise that in any home henceforth, because the situation, the challenges posed by the country is enough for every man to be humbled, to be disturbed. Do not add your own pressure to the husband. Women should be able to work. Some women don't work. That is the dictate of their husband, not knowing that things will turn around. And they cannot start somewhere. They find it difficult to start somewhere. The man is the sole provider in the home. There is bound to be chaos. After all, you ask me not to work, then provide for this, then do this, then do that. Honestly, they will not be able to move on. They will separate.
I'm happy with what you just said, because it was actually what I wanted to talk about next. A home where the husband has mandated the woman not to work. Now, when we have such homes and the man doesn't even have much, we see that a lot. Now, in the first place, do you even advise both parties not to work? Let's start from there.
Both parties should work. Both parties should work. That is when the two hands will be clean. When you are washing the hand, single-handedly, it will not be clean. But by the time you mix the two together, that is when it will be clean. For husbands to tell their wives not to work, how will I be a wife, a career woman at that? And you ask me to forgo all my experiences, all my strive in the past, just to become a full housewife. No woman should accept that. Yes, it's not done. It's not too good.
But when we have such situation, already putting a strain on in the home, a man saying you cannot work and the woman is saying I have to work. How do you deal with such also?
That she cannot work.
Yes,
she should not
you have
work.
to be a full housewife.
Is it before marriage or after marriage?
Whether it's before or after.
No.
Because in some cases, some men will never tell you before you got married that you're not going to work. For instance, let me give you an instance. When I was preparing to get married, I told the person I wanted to get married to at that time that, look, I am going to work. This is my career. I'm going to pursue my career.
Yeah.
And the guy told me point blank, sorry, I don't think you can pursue this career with me. And we broke up. From the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you a case like mine because I made my own. Maybe I'm an extrovert and that's why I'm saying it. Some women are not even thinking in that direction ahead. So whether I'm thinking or I'm not thinking, I got into the marriage, whether by direction or by crook or by whatever, and the guy says, I'm not going to work.
Oh, no. I feel that that's a very sensitive issue that ought to have been sorted out from the foundation.
But hypothetically, it was not sorted, yes. But you would agree with me that there are some people that do not have this conversation before getting married.
Yeah.
We've seen it play out before. I have personally seen it play out.
Even
Now, how do you handle?
Even some men knew the woman as a career person and they knew she was working before
they get married.
And so the woman assumed that because I'm working,
you can't stop me from getting.
We did not even have base to discuss it.
Yes,
how will you come
maybe
up
the
with
background
such?
they were both coming from and all
I'm not saying it's coming.
And the guy just woke up one day and said, "Babe, look,
you're not gonna
work.
You're
not going to that
you
work.
Better resign.
Or
I'm giving you 1 month.
If this is how you'll be coming home late, better resign.
No. Marriage is not a place where you just be giving orders and no.
No, some men.
We're not talking under this situation this time around. Let's approach it as it is.
No, if
this situation stands,
if a man does that, then he should, whatever he gets, he should
like what? So the woman should obey.
You see,
or go ahead on.
No. There are some women that their whole life and joy is tied to their career.
Of course.
So the moment you say she can't work, our joy is extinguished. You can't even enjoy her as a wife.
He doesn't care. For him, his wife must stay home to take care of the children.
So it's 50-50. It's 50-50. If our own, she may not agree to it.
And she can decide to walk out of the marriage.
Oh, well.
No, she may not even walk out. The house will be on fire.
It will be on fire. Fire that, let the husband enjoy the fire. Let him enjoy the fire. No, let him enjoy the fire. No. Marriage is not a license to repress people.
No.
It's not a license to suppress your wife. Marriage is not a license. She's a human being.
Her parents have told her, once you are going to that marriage,
whatever
there's no space for
says,
you in our house. So stay there.
If she believes,
forever.
If she's happy to agree with that, agrees with
she's not happy. She wants to
reluctantly. Some women think of what people will say around, and they take to what is not giving them joy.
I will never sanction
apart from the pastor in the church, she reports to her parents, her husband, her in-laws, and they all had a meeting, and they say you have to obey your husband. We have seen these cases. What should that kind of a woman do?
Such a woman can never be fulfilled. Such a woman has been rendered useless.
If the husband is happy to live with a woman that is dead, though living.
They don't. Some men don't care.
They don't give a damn.
They find their joy outside.
No, that's not marriage.
But does this? No,
that's not marriage. Marriage is not a selfish institution. Marriage is a selfless institution.
That is ideal situation, lawyer.
If it's not, it's not the ideal situation. This is not ideal. I'm saying what I'm saying is that home cannot have joy from that point.
There can't be joy.
But at that point,
there can't be fulfillment.
At that point,
yes.
What should the affected person or the woman in question now, what should she do? How should it be handled?
Personally, if I am not an advocate of divorce. I hardly advocate divorce. I would say that woman should escalate the issue to those that the husband respect and can.
But we have seen scenarios.
Yes,
No, it's not like it's not always like that.
It's most cases like that.
No, that's not the
right way for
Have you had a situation? Let's look at practice. Have you had a situation like this where you had to deal with both parties? Have you seen a scenario like this?
I have many situations.
And how was it handled?
No. If what the husband is asking for is unreasonable, I will speak to the husband.
In this case, is it reasonable or not?
If I've said it now, it's not reasonable now.
Good.
It's not reasonable, especially if you have not discussed and agreed to it before. You now get into marriage, because the career of a woman, a lot of people don't care about being housewives. There are a number of women like that who are happy to be housewives. Why don't you marry such? Who is happy not to work?
Doctor, go back to the question now.
No, that's why. How would you be going into a lifelong journey and not have discussion on critical issues?
You were talking. Yes. What should the woman do? You mentioned, reporting him to an account.
What should the woman do?
What if she was betrothed to that man?
What?
What if she was betrothed to that man?
What's the meaning of betroth?
Given to that man. And
you didn't have opportunity of having such conversation.
You didn't have opportunity of saying, I'm going to choose the man I want. It was chosen for her.
So she was blinded, She was blinded when she was saying.
She has to obey her parents. That's what they want.
No, you don't have to obey your parents.
In marriage?
As an adult, you don't have to obey your parents.
What
it's
do you
only
do?
Children that are that are
You're supposed to be a child
obey.
before you got married.
Especially when your parents are misleading you. You are not expected to obey.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and be united to his wife.
This young boy got married at 19.
I think this is also another conversation. I think this is also another conversation. And maybe briefly, we should also talk about it. You know, parents talking about life partners for their children. And you just mentioned, both of you just mentioned now that you should not listen to your parents. Now, how do you know? No, I'm talking of when you want to choose a partner.
Oh, yes, yes.
There are some instances where you are personally convinced. And, you know, they say that, adults see farther than the younger ones see.
Yes.
Now, when you are personally convinced that this is the person I want to get married to, I am convinced this is a man for me.
Yes.
And my parents are saying, no, I'm seeing something different. How do you deal with such situations?
You will pressurize them. You will try. You will expedite action to convince and not confuse the parents.
Convince them?
You have to make them see things from your own perspective. Mom, Dad, I'm going to live with this man. You are not going to be the one to live with this man. This is the man I want to marry. This man is capable of taking care of my needs. This man is compatible.
For reasons.
When
Okay,
they
let me give
say
you,
no,
let me give you reasons. We have seen families who would say, you must not marry Ijebu. You must not marry maybe somebody from a particular tribe.
if the reason is not more than that,
Elisha
I've got to
or
disobey them, right?
Say that again.
If the reason is not more than that,
Maybe they
I've
have
got
seen how somebody from that place has treated, a member of their family from an experience.
How does one depict? That's fallacious. That's a myth. How does one depict my own happiness in my own marriage?
That one person
After all, my man is not that.
The entire tribe is.
Okay, now that has been, cleared.
Yes.
Back to the issue we were talking about, a woman subjected to being a housewife, and you mentioned speaking to someone the husband respects.
Oh yes.
But now in situations where that is also not so, because we've seen instances where she has been told that he's your husband, whatever he says, you have to respect him. You have to, go abide by your husband's instruction. What else? What other step should she take?
Oh well, you see, if after now you are telling me that all the people that demand respect, they spoke to him.
Have you met a stubborn man?
And he didn't listen. Wait now.
That's also,
hold on now. All the people that are authority figures in his life, they spoke to him and he did not listen. Wait now. I'm asking. He did not listen. But he wants his wife to listen to him.
Do you also know that?
Oh no, it doesn't work that way. Everybody, hold on now. Everybody that must be a good leader must be a good follower.
But do you know
you
that
can't be a good leader if you are not a good follower?
Do you know there are some men who
lack mentors?
People who cannot talk to them.
The woman is at fault who has married a crazy man. How can you marry somebody?
We don't want to use such language.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, who has married an irresponsible man? Is that one allowed?
Let's look at it.
Now, it is your fault. I tell women, never marry a man that is not submitted, that doesn't have a head over his head.
Let me quickly give you
Never marry a man that doesn't, because wait, man, let me make this point. Never marry a man.
You are being emotional right now.
As a woman, no. I love women so much. You are the woman, you will be at the greatest receiving end because of the authority structure in a home.
No.
Never marry a man that is not submitted, and submission that is tested. You put somebody
a man without a mentor, a role model.
That doesn't have a head.
Somebody he fears.
Yes, every head needs a head.
Somebody he obeys.
Okay, so a quick one.
Do you have a head?
I do. There's somebody that I have submitted to before I met my wife, and I told my wife, I said, anything that you are talking to me about, anytime, as I give you a free access. You don't need to even inform me before you report me to this man. But I beg you, you can also give me a notice of appeal. I call it's like that man is a court of appeal, all right? Give me a notice of appeal so that if I can quickly amend my ways, is allowed before you escalate the matter. But I give her the right to say, you can reach out to this man. I have decided to be submitted to this man. This man cannot come here on phone and say, see me by 2 p.m. and I argue. It's a personal decision.
Okay, agreed.
And that's what makes a woman safe under a man.
Okay,
yes. If you don't have a man like that, don't marry him.
Okay, Barrister, let me give you this.
Sorry, man, I've been disobeying you.
No, don't worry. I understand. Now, let's look at it this way. A man, when you got married, had this man that, in fact, his father that he obeys. Suddenly his father died. He had an uncle that he obeys. Suddenly
the uncle died.
The uncle died. And there's nobody who is a link anymore. Even those you assume are links are people that he talks down. Or even if he doesn't talk them down, they will just speak and say, okay, daddy, I've heard you. And he walks away and go back to his decision, his own decision. Maybe before he even got married, he was a man that even you as your wife, you will speak to. He will listen to you as if you have, you know how Yoruba will say you refer or something for a man that he listens. Unfortunately, get to that point. How do you handle it? Where he fails and he says, no, this is my decision. That is one. Two, the man who says his wife should not work. And the wife, eventually agrees that, okay, for peace to exist in this home, I will not work. And she sleeps, she wakes up, she takes care of the home, the children. Now, suddenly, the man dies.
Or loses his job.
No, that's where I'm going. Or loses his job. What is the fate of that woman? Two scenarios.
Yeah. The second scenario, I remember that quickly, that, that's, you see, what is the fate? We all know the fate now. If the man loses his job and that's the only source of livelihood for the family, and he loses his job, both of them,
unfortunately, his next of kin is not any of his children or his wife. Maybe his younger brother.
Member.
So that's it.
What happens?
We know what will happen now. Everything will scatter now. Everything will scatter now. Everything will scatter, and that's what they want.
But remember, you are advocate of obedience. So.
No, it's not about obedience here now.
He mentioned.
There is no money
the wife
coming
has
in.
been obeying.
No.
Now the husband is dead. Where would the woman start from?
And that's why that question should not come to me, because I never agree with that position. It shouldn't come to me now, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Yes. I will never agree with anybody who is a disciple under me, or I mentor, to take such a stupid decision.
Please don't use stupid.
Don't insult them.
No, it's not. No, I didn't say the person is stupid.
I know.
The decision is stupid.
Yes, let's not even use the word.
The decision it does
not make sense.
It is
let's
foolish.
use
What about that?
Maybe better.
It's a descriptive word now. I'm not attacking the man. The decision itself.
Yes.
Doesn't have wisdom in it.
Let's hear from
I'm an advocate of women maintaining their stand. If you come across any man that is so stubborn, rebellious, out of jealousy, will ask you to be a full housewife. By the time, what are your reasons, my husband? I'm ready to obey you. What are your reasons? One of the basic reasons is that you not go out there, your boss will now be toasting you. You not go out there, other men will now be looking at your shape. Those are flimsy excuses.
No,
telling me not to work.
The man could say that I will provide everything. I just want my wife to be
home. That is a mere promise. It's a verbal
because he feels
pronunciation. It's a mere verbal pronunciation. It won't be like that again.
He feels that the children needs attention. Somebody to grow the children, monitor them, and be with them.
Women are wired to be a multitasker.
Oh.
Yes. You can be a successful career woman and at the same time a successful housewife. Yes, I can use myself as an example.
Please tell
I raised 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys, without a house help for one time or the other. Throughout, I did not train my children with house help.
And you were working.
And I was working, and I do travel from Oyo to Ibadan on a daily basis. I am a lecturer and a counseling psychologist at that. And I'm known in all media houses. I double up. We should be able to create a psychosocial moratorium where we balanced the equation.
As we wrap up, because our time is fast.
We are multitaskers as a woman.
What message do you have for couples as we wrap up?
For couples, I want to say, men out there, submit to your wife. You will have peace.
They should submit to their wife.
Yes, you will have peace. Let your wife know how much is in your account. She will not ask more than what is in your account. It is when you hide it, you have 10,000 naira, you are hiding it. Your wife will come up with 100,000 naira responsibilities.
Which is a strategy, really?
Yes, it is a strategy. My husband will say, this is my pay slip. This is my pay slip. This is January. My husband will open up. I won't ask him more than what he has.
Thank you very much, Doctor. As much as we're talking about couples, marriages, I think it starts from being a child. Today is International Boy Child Day, and the theme is flourish and thrive, investing in boys for stronger families and communities. Just what we are talking about, I want you to speak to parents. How to train up the children, especially
the boys.
Major focus on the boy child. Because we leave the boy child, train up the girl child, they end up being with the boy child that was not trained, and everyone gets damaged. Speak to parents.
You've spoken to them already on my behalf.
No, do more of the speaking.
Oh yes, absolutely. We cannot overemphasize the pillars of society, those who will take the greatest leadership roles in society, especially from the strongest unit, the basic unit of society, which is family, are the men. And so we must put all the focus, If a man, the head is correct, it has the greater propensity to correct the entire body than if the body is correct and the head is rotten. So we must understand the sensitive place that the boy child plays in society. Put focus to them. Fathers should model. The greatest way for them to learn is not just by what you say. They watch, their father in the home. Fathers should model what fatherhood is and what being a husband.
A responsible
husband, to demonstrate to these boy children that being a father of the house and husband is a call to service rather than a call to status
or command
or oppression.
Thank you very much.
Stand tall. We have to call it a wrap.
Indeed, and it's been a wonderful conversation. Having this talk about money in the home. We've been talking about economic hardship, handling marriage, financial pressure, and we've been in conversation with a family lawyer and marriage counselor, Barrister Enyayo Akintujoye, and Dr. Olubanke Olaojo. She's a counseling psychologist and a lecturer. Thank you so much,
Thank you very much,
and ma'am, for coming to speak to this particular part 2, actually. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back after Global Updates. Please stay with us.
It's another edition of Global Update on Saturday Special, BCOS Television, Iliakide Rita Bashon in Ibadan. My name is Bimbo Akombi. A fresh outbreak of the Ebola virus has been confirmed in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, with at least 65 deaths recorded so far, according to African health authorities. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention disclosed this on Friday, noting that 246 suspected cases have been identified, including 4 fatalities among laboratory-confirmed patients. Health officials said the outbreak was detected in Ituri province, located in the eastern part of the country. Africa CDC noted that it is closely tracking development and has already convened an emergency high-level coordination meeting involving authorities from the DRC, Uganda, South Sudan, and international health partners to strengthen cross-border surveillance, preparedness, and response measures. Ebola virus disease, first discovered in 1976, is a severe and highly infectious hemorrhagic illness transmitted through direct contact with infected bodily fluids. The disease can lead to severe bleeding, organ failure, and death if not contained quickly. Over the past 5 decades, Ebola outbreaks across Africa have reportedly claimed about 15,000 lives. Health authorities have urged residents and neighboring countries to remain vigilant and promptly report suspected infections to help contain the spread of the virus. In the meantime, 5 Italians have died in a scuba diving accident in the Maldives, the foreign ministry in Rome has said. 4 of the divers were part of a University of Genoa team, including Professor of Ecology Monica Montefalcone, a daughter and 2 researchers. The Maldives military said one body had been found in a cave about 60 meters underwater, and the other 4 divers were believed to be also there. It said divers with special equipment had been sent to the area, describing a search operation as a very high risk. The incident is believed to be the worst single diving accident in the tiny Indian Ocean nation, a popular tourist destination because of its string of coral islands. The 5 Italians entered the water on Thursday morning, local media reported. The crew of the diving vessel they were traveling on reported them missing when they failed to resurface later on. The University of Genoa later named the victims as Montefalcone, her daughter Georgia Samukal, who was also a student, research fellow Muriel Odenino, and marine biology graduate Federico Gualtieri. Also, French prosecutors say a 15-year-old boy has been killed and a boy of 13 is fighting for his life in a suspected drug-related shooting in the western city of Nantes. The attackers were wearing balaclavas and used automatic weapons, according to the country's Interior Minister Laurent Nunez. The 13-year-old is in a critical condition and a third boy was also wounded. The shots were fired at 3 young men, said Nantes prosecutor Antoine Leroy, who believed the attack was a settling of scores in relation to drug offenses. This was an assessment resolutely rejected by the 15-year-old boy's aunt, named as Paula, from Nantes' working-class neighborhood of Port Boyer. She told reporters her nephew was not a criminal. As people gathered around the police cordon, the mother of one of the victims could be heard crying in despair from her car. It's an area where high-rise apartment blocks sit along the banks of the Indre River. The city's mayor, Joanna Rowland, has condemned what she calls the drug trafficking that is plaguing the country and emphasized the distress and intense emotion this community was already going through after another fatal shooting at the end of last month. France's Ministry of Justice estimates that the number of teenagers involved in the illegal trade has risen more than 4-fold in the past 8 years. Finland has stood down its defense forces after sounding an alarm over suspected drone activities in its airspace. The authorities said on Friday that suspected drone activity above the Helsinki region no longer posed a threat and that the situation was returning to normal hours after launching an emergency response, including the launch of fighter jets and closure of the capital's airport. The alarm illustrates the tension stalking the region as Finland and the Baltic states eye Russian aggression and daily missile and drone attacks amid Moscow's continued war on Ukraine. The Helsinki City Rescue Department had warned the nearly 2 million inhabitants of Finland's Uusimaa region to stay indoors starting about 4 a.m. local time as fighter jets were scrambled. Helsinki's airport was also closed for about 3 hours. Later, President Alexander Stubb wrote on X that authorities had demonstrated their readiness and capacity to react, adding that the country was now facing no direct military threat. Kimmo Kovalka, Director General of Rescue Services at the Ministry of Interior, called the response a precautionary measure and said daily life can continue. The incident arose amid growing concerns about regional spillover from the Ukraine war. And finally, the United States is planning to indict former Cuban President Raul Castro as Washington raises the pressure on the island's communist government. Several U.S. media outlets reported on Thursday that the potential charges against the 94-year-old brother of Fidel Castro relates to a 1996 incident in which Cuba shot down planes flown by the anti-Castro humanitarian group Brothers to the Rescue. The move comes amid a U.S. blockade that has halted virtually all fuel supplies to the island, with the Trump administration, after celebrating its overthrow of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, pushing for regime change. Castro, who succeeded his brother as Cuban president, is still considered the most powerful person in the nation. Any indictment would need to be approved by grand jury. The report surfaced hours after a U.S. delegation led by CIA Director John Ratcliffe met Cuban officials in Havana, where he offered $100 million in humanitarian assistance on the condition that the government agrees to meaningful reforms. Indicting Castro will mark a stunning escalation in the ongoing crisis in U.S.-Cuba relations, which have deteriorated since U.S. President Donald Trump took office for his second term in 2025.
It's a broken, non-functional economy, and it's impossible to change it. I wish it were different. We'll give them a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be able to change the trajectory of Cuba as long as these people are in charge in that regime.
And that will be all on today's edition of Global Update on Saturday Special. My name is Bimbo Akombi. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks to Bimbo Akombi for that global update. And that's much we have for you on Saturday Special this morning. You agree with us that it's been a very interesting session. Of course, when you talk about money, it's usually, a conversation that will just cause a lot of disagreement, a lot of arguments. But of course, I guess we're able to do justice to the particular conversation this morning. But I will say, whatever it is you do, make sure you develop yourself. Make sure you build yourself for a stronger family, for a stronger society, and for a stronger nation. I am Oluwa Fumbi Bello saying have a nice weekend.
And of course, on this note from my end, do well to build your family, stay together. But remember, money is important. So you can increase, of course, your stream of income so that you can cater for the needs of your family. My name is Jadisola Ajibola saying enjoy your weekend.
Money.
Money.